Welcome to this Liberty Panther Sports Network live stream event. Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood on play-by-play, producer Richard Ewing. It's game day with Liberty Panther softball. Let's get it.
Welcome back, Panther Nation, to the Liberty Panther Sports Network. I'm Joe Roberts. Alongside me, Ross Norwood on play-by-play, producer Richard Ewing, here in Baytown, Texas, at Goose Creek Memorial High School for game number 2 of District 21 4A seeding. The Liberty Lady Panthers defeating the Huffman-Hargrave Lady Falcons in the earlier contest this afternoon, 2-1. Marina Bourgeois able to walk across her home plate after Breezy Pantelian poked the ball into the short right field. And now Liberty with no less than the second seed, no matter what happens against the Hamshire Fanette Lady Horns. And just had the meeting, and it looks like we're getting ready to kick off, and the Lady Panthers going to be the home team in this contest. And waiting on my cohort, Ross Norwood. While we're waiting on Ross, I've got the Liberty Athletic Director, Chris Lackey, with us here this afternoon, and he's going to give us a rundown on some of the cool things that are happening with the Liberty Athletic Program. Thanks for being with us this afternoon, Coach Lackey.
Hey, thanks, Coach. I appreciate you having me.
All right, Coach, as the Lady Panthers are warming up here in the infield, we've got something really cool coming up on Monday. We've got the Liberty Athletic banquet, right?
Yeah, we got the banquet from 6 to 8. Just gives us a chance to try to celebrate all of our kids and all the sports, and just get them excited about it, and get the parents excited about it, and celebrate all their hard work they put in for the seasons.
All right, Coach, and then one final thing before we have this first batter. The boys athletics are having a fundraiser.
Yes, sir. We're running a fundraiser with Team Funded, and it's basically an app where we go through and send out texts, emails, and share on Facebook and Twitter. So if you feel moved to, then we'd greatly appreciate any donations to the athletic program. There's a lot of things we're trying to change to get done here in Liberty, and it's always a big help, and get the extra things that our boys need. So.
All right, Coach, stay with us. Camden Chandler firing the first pitch low inside, swung on by the Hamshire Fanette Lady Horn batter. And we need to put an APB out for Ross Norwood. I think the game started a little bit sooner. And trying to lay the bunt down. That's going to go foul. Strike number 2. And Camden ahead early in this at-bat. Batter number 1 for the Lady Horns of Hamshire Fanette. And waiting on a number. I don't have their lineup just yet. Moving around the horn, Reagan Williamson at first base. Reese Evans at second. Breezy Bentalian at shortstop. Kylie Bishop at third. And that's going to be hit to Evans, who's going to toss it over to Reagan Williamson for the first out of the top of the first inning. And after one batter, there's one out. Your Liberty Lady Panthers 0, Hamshire Fanette 0 after one out. Bourgeois behind the plate in right field. Abby Vickers, Macy Beam in center field, and then Bailey Slack in left. And that's going to be a foul ball. Strike number 1. Now Ross is behind me. We found him. My little buddy's safe. All right, as we're going along, Coach, tell us more about this fan cloth store.
The fan cloth store we ran, it actually closed just recently, but it was a way for us to raise a little extra money as well. But more recently, Friday we'll have the grand opening of an online store where you get Liberty Panther gear, and it will have a few more brands. So it'll have some Under Armour and some North Face and a few things that are maybe a little pricier, but probably a little bit better quality.
So, Coach, you have so far you kind of rebranded the logo for Liberty. You came aboard, and I like it. It's the little LP with some claws above it. That's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, we try to look at many different options, and kind of polled some kids on the girls' side and the boys' side, and talked to community members, and got several people to several companies to throw out some ideas, and everyone kind of seemed to always settle on that one, and so it's been really good so far. We're trying to get it out and kind of try to do some branding, get some kids excited about being part of Liberty and Panther Nation.
All right, that's going to be hit right into the pocket of Pantelian, who's going to fire over to Williamson for out number 2. 2 batters, 2 outs so far for Camden Chandler and company. All right, Coach. Liberty has been an Adidas school for the last, I don't know how long, and you're an Under Armour guy, right?
Yeah, we came in, we're trying to make as many changes as we can, honestly, and we went with the company, and it's not for all of athletics. Each head coach is going to be able to pick what brand that they want for their jerseys and kind of what they want to roll with. I wanted to have that freedom, but as far as football, we will be going to Under Armour this year, and really love their style of jerseys and the things that they have to offer, and I think the kids are pretty excited about it. So hopefully they get those things pretty soon, and it'll look nice and sharp and feel good, play good.
All right, Coach. One final question. What's this the play? And that's going to be the 3rd out. That's going to go right to center field. Macy Beam moving to her right, going to snag that out of the air, and that's going to do it for the top of the 1st inning. We're going to head into the middle of the first inning, and when we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Coach Lackey. Welcome back, Panther Nation. You're watching the Lady Panther softball team on the Liberty Panther Sports Network. Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood on play-by-play, and producer Richard Ewing here this afternoon at Goose Creek Memorial High School. Your Liberty Lady Panthers 0, the Hamshire Fanette Lady Horns 0 after half an inning. The winner of this contest taking the 1st seed in District 21 4A, and presumably the playoffs start tomorrow, depending on who the Lady Panthers play. And I can see Coach Lackey nodding his head in agreement, so I must have said something correct. All right, Coach, as the Lady Horns are warming up, last question for you. If someone wanted to help out the Liberty Athletic Department, how do they do that? Do they need to go through the Booster Club? Can they contact you directly?
Yeah, there's several different ways. I mean, right now that we have that fundraiser going on, so really if you know any male athlete in our program, they should be posting links or sending out links, and you can just click that and donate whatever you'd like to donate. But yeah, you can speak with the Booster Club, or you can drop off a check up at the front office or admin office. So
yeah, we like checks, right, Coach?
We'll take it any way we can get it.
All right, Coach Lackey, thanks for being with us this afternoon. Up first for the Lady Panthers, senior center fielder Macy Beam. And she's going to make some contact, going to go right through the glove of the charging third baseman, and she's going to be able to get on board, and that's going to go down presumably as an error on the third base. I'm waiting for Ross to give me the nod yes or no on that, but whether or not it is an error, Macy Beam is standing on first, and now up to bat we have Reese Evans, the second baseman. Let's see ball number 1. And it looks like I may be getting my partner in crime back on the air with me, who's working on the book. And another fielding error right there from the first baseman, not able to handle the throw from third base. And Reese Evans going to reach safely first, and that's going to bring up Bailey Slack, and that's going to put Macy Beam on third, Reese Evans on first with no outs.
All right, sorry about that. Had an unfortunate delay at the concession stand. Somebody was taking care of other business, and Reese Evans sets sail, and she has the stolen base, and second and third, nobody out for Liberty. That pitch was a strike. This pitch missing low.
So far in this young inning, Ross, the Lady Panthers looking wildly different than they did against the Lady Falcons early on.
When Liberty went to Hamshire Fanette, they beat, I believe it was 9-2. Slack showed bunt but pulls it back. That pitch was low, very low.
Yes, this pitcher for Hamshire Fanette, she did a really good job the first time they matched up and shutting down the Lady Panther hitters. She got loads of pop-ups, I believe, and a bunch of strikeouts. It was a different sort of tale the second time around, but as we well know, in a third game between two teams, you never really know what you're about to get.
No, both games that they played before this one were opposite games. I mean, you had Liberty with a lot of pop-ups. They were getting under balls. And then they put 9 runs on the road.
Be a full count for Slack.
Bounced foul just off the third base line in front of the bag.
Well, Ross, it was good to hear from Coach Lackey, the new Liberty Athletic Director. Had a lot of wonderful things to say about some of the things that are coming up with the future of the program. Got the athletic banquet coming up on Monday at 6 o'clock, and then they're doing a fundraiser through Team Funded.
And the bases will be loaded. That pitch missing low.
And now the senior third baseman, Kylie Bishop, who had some really nice defensive plays late in the game to secure the lone run instead of more runs on the scoreboard.
First pitch is in on that inside corner. Good placement there. Nowhere to put Kylie Bishop. Beam is on third. Reached on an error. Evans on third. Reached on an error. Fouled off, and it's a no ball and 2-strike count.
Yeah,
and a walk to Slack.
I didn't feel quite right calling those errors without you right next to me. I know they were.
I'm going to defer to you on the first one.
Okay, well, I don't know if you should defer to me on anything, to be honest with you.
Because I was actually buried in the book. This one is sent into the outfield. The right fielder makes an attempt to catch it, but nowhere close to it. Gets to the wall. 1 run in. 2 runs in. Here comes the third run. Throw is high. Not even close. And it's a 3-run triple for the senior, Kylie Bishop, and Liberty off to a 3-0 lead.
And that is something that Bishop has been wanting for a minute or two. Her bat has been at times really, really hot, and what you've gotten there is that great defensive work that she did earlier on in the last contest, now translating on the offensive side, and that's a great feeling when you can clear the pond, as it were.
Hit it very well. The right fielder had come in a little bit on it. We saw that in the game before in Huffman, where the right fielder came in on a ball hit by Alex Wiley and had to jump to try to make a catch, but didn't did not, and Wiley ended up on third, which with Bourgeois running turned out to be the winning run. Bases cleared except for Kylie Bishop at third. Still nobody out as Reagan swings and misses at that one.
Well, we're not feeling much of a breeze where we're at, Ross, but I can see the flag is poking out a little bit. So there is some wind right up where a fly ball would be.
And this one is hit high into left field. The left fielder under it with the sun going off her sunglasses, and Kylie Bishop will be able to walk in as she tags up. That's the first out of the inning, the fourth run of the inning for Liberty. A sacrifice fly and an RBI. And that brings up Camden Chandler. Chandler with a huge hit in the last game. Hit it to straightaway center field and off the wall, allowed a run to score. One more run was cut down trying to score, but that tied it up for Liberty.
Was that 2 strikes, Ross, or 1?
I've
caught
got
up.
2 strikes.
Okay, all right. I'm caught up over here trying to see through the glare of the scoreboard.
This one is hit high in the foul territory. The third baseman catches it. That ball was starting over from foul to fair territory, but the third baseman was able to stay with it, and that is the second out of the inning, nobody on, and Alex Wiley.
All right, I'm going to get myself back in this. Me having to do the play-by-play, it threw me off, Ross. Don't you ever do that to me again.
I'll try not to. I'll remember that next time. Fouled off over the Hamshire Fanette dugout. Bounces a few times.
Yeah, the glare on these screens is making it really difficult to see our technology right now. I apologize if you're watching at home. The scoreboard, I'm trying to keep that as accurate as possible.
That is a low strike called on Wiley, and it's no balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Head coach Karen Slack encouraging her batter. Wiley, who was responsible for getting on base, and that's high.
Yeah, she was the one that really instigated the go-ahead run.
Really turned it up between first and second base and was able to get in easily to third. And that is a strike 3 looking. And that'll do it for Liberty, but they put 4 runs on the board in the bottom of the first inning. Headed to the second inning, it is 4-0 Liberty.
Welcome back, Panther Nation. You're watching the Liberty Lady Panther softball team on the Liberty Panther Sports Network. Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood, producer Richard Ewing, and we are moving into the top of the second, but not before a monster offensive inning from the Lady Panthers in the bottom of the first, something that we hadn't seen in a minute or two, Ross. 4 runs across and seemed to be firing on all cylinders.
There were not 4 runs combined in the game against Huffman.
And indeed, there were not.
And historically, the Lady Panthers and the Huffman Lady Falcons have played tight ball games, not the last Huffman win in Liberty last week, kind of being the exception to that rule.
Well, to be fair, that was, 2 days after an accident that pulled out 2 starters.
That pitch missing in the dirt. The batter, Katie Sanders, she is the pitcher.
Sanders, I cannot remember her name for the life of me. Yeah, she had a really nice outing the first time against the Lady Panthers.
There is a strike.
And if I recall correctly, she was responsible for the runs the second time around. She had the shot.
Correct.
Yep, so she's a pretty darn good softball player.
She's their cleanup hitter as that ball She was
no
again,
touchy, no touchy. That's what I thought there. She tried to pull that back, and she just could not.
looking for the fastball, got the curveball instead. And she fouls that between her legs.
Okay, I've got 1 and 2. Is that what you have right now?
1 ball and 2 strikes is the count
Okay.
to Katie Sanders, the pitcher for Hamshire Fanette. This one hit in fair territory, backhanded by Kylie Bishop. The throw bounces into Reagan Williamson, but Williamson able to scoop it for the out.
That was a nice defensive play by Williamson. And again, Bishop showcasing the ability to be at the right spot. Some of her throws have been a little interesting, but Reagan Williamson, her fellow senior classmate, there to clean it up.
That brings up Olivia Moore, the catcher. So the battery batting next to each other in the order. And she sends the ball off the handle of the bat. Camden Chandler comes in almost to home plate to make the play, and that's the second out of the inning.
I talked about this in that last game, those free outs, and those are so pivotal to get, the nice little pop-ups, the ones that are in foul territory that you can grab to keep that batter from getting an extra chance at potentially doing some damage, Ross.
Jordan Comer, the shortstop, looks at strike 1. Actually, I have to admit, I was not actually looking, so.
No, she looked at it.
She did. Okay, well, I didn't have to out myself there.
You did not. You were good.
That time she swings and misses that on the breaking pitch, and it's no balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Camden has been pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? She's used that changeup a good bit more today than we've seen her in a while.
Mixing in the curveball. Another one that gets in on Comer as Reese Evans comes in to catch it from second base, and that'll do it. A 1-2-3 inning for Hamshire Fanette in the second. Bottom of the second inning coming up on the Liberty Panther Sports Network.
Welcome back, Panther Nation. You're watching Lady Panther Softball on the Liberty Panther Sports Network. Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood, producer Richard Ewing, moving into the bottom of the second inning. Your Lady Panthers leading 4-0. Stellar defensive work so far out of the Lady Panther defense, and a mild outburst of offensory in the bottom of the first. I don't even know if that was a word, but maybe I just made it there.
Well, when you hang a crooked number on the scoreboard, I wouldn't necessarily use mild to describe it.
Okay, well, I didn't want to oversell it, Ross. I didn't want to come out of my shoes.
Specifically, when you talk about the bases-clearing triple hit by Kylie Bishop that got, came up and got it rattled up against the wall.
Well, that was nice. That was really nice, and I'm really happy for her. She deserves all the accolades that she can get. And if I recall, she was the one that recorded the final out in the state championship game. Is that right? She was playing second base? I'm sure you're going to go and look at that.
I am. I seem to remember.
Maybe, I don't know if I'm misremembering or not.
No, I seem to remember that is correct.
Freshman Abby Vickers up to bat for the Lady Panthers currently.
She pops the first pitch up. It's going to get into shallow right field. The right fielder having to come in on it and move towards the line, but makes the catch. Let's see.
You still looking for that?
I am.
All right, Breezy up to bat now, and our string of freshman hitters coming through here. And Breezy, of course, responsible for the hit that drove in the winning run in the previous contest.
Kylie Bishop caught a pop-up which was the second out. That ball in fair territory and cannot get Battalion. And that was a bang-bang play at first. And
I'm not going to lie to you, that was fast. That was really fast. She got out of there like a shot. And that's, folks, as you saw, one of the reasons that she's running in regionals for the 100-meter dash. Senior Macy Beam up to bat now for the Lady Panthers, and she attempts on a ball that's called a strike.
Little swing bunt. It's going to go foul behind the plate, and the catcher is able to come down with it. Olivia Moore. And that is the second out of the inning. Pantalion, pretty good speed.
You don't copycat me, Ross.
She had the game-winning hit against Huffman, what seems like, I don't know, an hour ago?
An hour ago, yeah, about an hour ago.
She takes off. Throwing from her knees is Olivia Moore, and it goes into center field. Pantalion safely in with the stolen base.
Well, I thought that was going to hit Breezy on the hip as she was sliding into second, but with the bounciness of this turf, it harmlessly went over her.
A strike to Reese Evans. Pantalion was going. Moore threw down to second, but wisely, Pantalion just kept running and got to third easily. Second stolen base of the inning. 1-1 count to Reese Evans, and she looks at a ball high.
Yeah, that was a really smart base run by Breezy. She got into no man's land and forced the catcher to make a decision, and then I think she tricked her into making the wrong decision. That's what I'm going with.
And that misses, and all of a sudden it's 3 balls and a strike. Evans serves this one into left field. Pantalion can come in to score. A RBI single for Reese Evans.
That was such a great placement of the ball. And what you're seeing right now is this Lady Panther offense waking up, and you can kind of get a different feel between the pitchers. The Hargrave pitcher and the Hamshire Fanette pitcher, both good in their own right, just different. And the Lady Panthers dialed in a little bit better on Sanders.
Bunted, third baseman comes in on it and is not going to get it in time. Going to third is Reese Evans, and Bailey Slack reaches on an infield hit. Another close play.
Again, that happened so fast I didn't even have time to bring Bailey up. She just dropped a dime right in front of the plate and was able to use her speed to get down there. Now Kylie Bishop back up to bat for the Lady Panthers.
5-0. A strike to Bishop in her last at bat, a bases clearing triple. She now comes up with 2 outs and runners at second and third. And she sends this one high on the infield. The third baseman comes in just in front of the pitching rubber and catches that, and that'll do it for Liberty. They put up a run, they leave 2. On to the third, 5-0 Liberty.
Welcome back, Panther Nation. You are watching the Lady Panther softball team on the Liberty Panther Sports Network here in Baytown, Texas for this mini seeding tournament in District 21 4A. The trio of the Lady Panthers, the Lady Horns of Hamshire Fanette, and the Lady Falcons of Huffman Hargrave all in a three-way tie for first place, and having to sort that out in order for the playoffs to start with the correct team in the correct spot. Your Lady Panthers defeating Hargrave 2-1 earlier this afternoon, and now in the midst of the finale on the day with the Hamshire Fanette Lady Horns. After 2 innings, the Lady Panthers up 5-0.
Joe, I have to ask you, as I was trying to input the information earlier in that first inning, do you remember how Katie Bethke, the number 2 hitter for Hamshire Fanette, was retired?
Let's see here. That's a great question, and I think it was a fly ball.
Do you remember to who? A strike?
No, I do not.
To Madison Bundick.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Ross.
Thank you.
I do not know that. I struggle to remember, and you know I concussed myself earlier today, so I'm gonna blame it on that.
This pitch missing low. Not even at the shoe tops, a little lower than the shoe tops of Bundick. Sends it foul down the right field line.
Probably on the way home I'll remember what it was, if you still care at that point.
I always care.
Oh, I love how you love me.
That ball getting high and inside to Bundick. She
little chin music right there from Camden Chandler.
arches her torso out of the way.
And I would have just gotten hit. I don't have that maneuver in my body anymore.
There is the ball, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. To Bundick, the first baseman, leading it off for Hamshire Fanette in the third. Liberty leads Hamshire Fanette 5-0 after a 4-run first, and they added a run, and that is strike 3 as she swings through that one, and added a run in the second, 1 away. Now in the third. First strikeout for Camden Chandler in this game. Abigail Rutherford, the designated player, steps into the box. That ball.
Don't say. Oh, I thought you were about to say Karoom.
No.
Okay, all right.
Caught the shin guard of catcher Marina Bourgeois.
I didn't want you to go to that well too many times.
No,
We've got to save that for the playoffs.
This ball is going to be served. Shortstop Brianna Pantalion goes just out onto the outfield grass. I thought that ball would carry a little better.
Well, it sounded dead when it came off the bat, so I don't know that it ever had a chance. But those are the tricky ones because they'll just fall.
The wounded ducks.
Yeah.
2 outs in the third inning, and Aubrey McDonald hits this one sharply to Reese Evans at second, fields it and throws on to Williamson at first in a 1-2-3 inning. Bottom of the third inning coming up. Liberty leads Hamshire Fanette 5-0.
Welcome back, Panther Nation, to Liberty Lady Panther softball on the Liberty Panther Sports Network. Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood, producer Richard Ewing, moving into the bottom half of the third inning. Your Lady Panthers leading 5-0. Senior Reagan Williamson leading off the inning for the Lady Panthers. And what a day she's been having defensively in particular, Ross.
She has gotten a lot of work, and she's had to go high for balls and low for balls and pick balls off of shoe tops.
She has been the proverbial black hole on the one bag, Ross.
Want to keep that up as this game progresses. Liberty with a 5-0 lead, 4 runs in the first inning, a run in the second. And I'm just now getting my book somewhat in order.
Well, you spent all that time at the concession stand.
I couldn't make a decision.
It's okay. That's been your scouting report.
Just a little high. Goes into the screen. Ball 1.
I think both of us are going to have to put a little aloe on our face at the conclusion of this game.
Catches a piece of it and sends it into the screen. Actually sends it against the backstop.
Sort of a, would you call that a big league cut right there, Ross?
Yeah. Evens the count at 1-1. Missing outside. Catcher Moore was set up inside and had to come across her body to catch that one. High into left field, angling over to the left field line, and the left fielder, McDonald, makes the catch for the first out of the inning.
Well, it almost looked like she got all a hold of that, and then at the very last minute, it looked like the wind kind of caught that and knocked it down. Good cut, nevertheless. Camden Chandler up to bat for the Lady Panthers.
This one sent into left field. The left fielder having to come in on that one quickly, bobbles it, and it drops. And Chandler will get a courtesy runner. It looks like Ashlyn Cordova going in to run for Chandler. 1 out in the 3rd inning. I almost wanted to say 5th inning, but that would have been incorrect. Leave it to me to mess up the call that won the game.
Well, you had the correct team that won. That was sure.
Good, but
yeah,
it was not hit to left field. Alex Wiley, who had a triple in the bottom of the 7th inning, is up for the first time. She bunts it. It goes high, bounces, and kicks foul.
All right. I cannot see my screen. Am I good right here?
I can't
Producer
see it either.
Ewing,
You're asking the blind to
are we
lead
good?
the blind.
One. Okay, I can see it now. The glare over here is magnificent, and not in a good way.
Oh,
pretty!
In the air past the pitcher. And it'll be an infield single for Alex Wiley, and 2 runners on for Liberty in the bottom of the 3rd inning with 1 out.
You could not have asked Alex to put a better ball down than that one right there. You don't really expect her to bunt, and then she just laid down a beautiful bunt right between the 3rd baseman and the pitcher.
Abby Vickers, the batter. She's in right field for this game. Played most of the game in right field. She pops up the bunt. A great play. It's going to double off Alex Wiley. A great play by the pitcher, Moore. And that will do it for Liberty as that ball, great play, and Wiley had gone off too far. That'll do it for Liberty in the 3rd, on to the 4th after this.
Welcome back, Panther Nation, to the Liberty Panther Sports Network on YouTube. You're watching the Liberty Lady Panthers softball team. After 3, your Liberty Lady Panthers leading 5-0, and Camden Chandler and defensive company having a really nice outing so far. In the top of the, the bottom of the 3rd inning, it seemed like the Lady Panthers were about to break open another big inning, and some really nice defensive stops by the Lady Horns of Hamshire Fanette shut that down before they could really get started. And again, here we are moving into the top of the 4th inning. I want to take this time to thank our sponsors once again, the Liberty ISD Education Foundation, our scoreboard sponsor, attorney at law Emily Cook, and attorney at law C. Bruce Stratton. Thank you for your sponsorship. Without that, which was given to us, we would have a hard time doing broadcasts like this, Ross.
Evie Woodall going to lead it off for Hamshire Fanette in the 4th inning. She is the leadoff hitter. She bounced out to Reese Evans in her first at bat.
Just releasing that pitch just a little too soon on the last couple. Taking a little break here so they can get a new ball into Camden. That last foul ball from Woodall, I think she tore a little bit of the cover off of it when it hit. Was it the stanchion over here with the lights?
Yes. Macy Beam has to go over towards left field to catch that one at about her hip for the first out.
Well, that one kind of caught me by surprise, Ross. I thought they were still tossing it back in, and then she was ready to hit that ball. Thankfully, the senior center fielder was not caught off of her guard. That first pitch fired in low for a ball.
Five to nothing Liberty. Top of the 4th inning. Liberty scoring 4 runs in the first and 1 in the second. This one is sent out into left field. Slack has to go back a couple of steps, gets under it, catches it for the second out of the 4th. Brooklyn Taylor is getting loose in the Liberty pen. Beth Key retired. And Brianna Parent, the right fielder, will be the batter with 2 outs and nobody on. That pitch sliding a little too far out of the strike zone.
Ross had the Liberty Gala on Saturday, right? Or was it Friday? Saturday?
Yes, as this one is laced foul down the left field line. Gallo was a success.
And I think we even get to see Miss Ripkowski out there dancing a little bit.
I did not personally know.
Okay. I wasn't sure if I know she still rides her bike, right?
Yeah, and she had a big.
I'm sure there's a big following there for her.
There was a huge following, family, a lot of family there.
She's as close to a celebrity in the city of Liberty as anyone.
Sent foul after the previous loud foul ball. A lot of ex-Prancers in attendance, as well as it was a sold-out event, which when you have a fundraiser, anytime you sell it out, that's a good way. And she swings threw it, and that is going to get away from, or it's dropped by Bourgeois, who throws down to first, and it was a great throw. It just went off her helmet.
So that is going to be a strikeout, but not an out.
Correct. So 2 outs.
Well, if you're going to let somebody know you're frustrated with them, I guess you hit them in the back of the head.
It's the second strikeout for Camden Chandler in this game. Katie Sanders comes to the plate.
That's a tough throw to make.
It really is, that angle. That pitch at about the shins and inside. This is one of those things when you keep a scorebook, you're used to kind of the regular things, but you've got to show that there's a runner on base and a strikeout. And that ball is way over Bourgeois' head and going into second base on the wild pitch.
And again, I apologize if you're watching at home for the digital scoreboard. I'm trying my best to see this computer screen and having a devil of a time doing it.
Off of Chandler, she picks it up to recover and throws to first and just gets Katie Sanders, and that'll do it. So 1 left, no hits. Middle of the 4th inning, 5-0 Liberty.
Welcome back, Panther Nation, to Baytown Goose Creek Memorial High School and your Liberty Lady Panthers softball team on the Liberty Panthers Sports Network. Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood on play-by-play, producer Richard Ewing. And after 3.5, your Liberty Lady Panthers 5, Hamshire Fanette Lady Horns 0, as we slide into the bottom of the 4th inning. The Hamshire Fanette Lady Horns able to get a runner on via the drop third strike and then not able to do anything with her, though she was able to get to second on a pass ball. And now due up for the Lady Panthers in the bottom half of this inning, freshman and shortstop Breezy Pantalian.
9-1-2 due up for Liberty. Pantalian, Beam, and Evans in this bottom of the 4th inning. On a sunny day, clouds in the sky, a bunt by Pantalian fielded by Sanders and thrown on to first in time.
Well, that time they were able to get to that ball quickly and get her out. She has showcased some really, I'm going to call it state-level speed so far on the base path.
Speaking of state-level speed, she'll be running in the regional track meet in Webster on Friday. Weak pop-up to the second baseman, and Beam is retired. Two away, and Reese Evans comes to the plate. She reached on an error and had an RBI single. Fouls this one into the screen. Liberty would like to play add-on here. We've seen a Hamshire Fanette team very capable of putting up runs.
I was going to mention that earlier. This is a team that kind of came out of nowhere. The Lady Panthers run ruling them twice last year, and the addition of several of their young ladies playing on some travel teams and some other changes have allowed this Lady Horn team to really make a splash this season.
Lined past the third baseman and into the left field. A 2-out single for Reese Evans, her second hit of the game. It's her second game of the day.
And that's kind of her bread and butter right there for the Lady Panthers. The ability to lay a bunt down but pull it back and kind of slap it over the infield. But what's amazing is if she does want to get into her batting pocket, she can hit home runs.
Bethke at third base made a good attempt at getting that one. Evans takes off for second. This ball bunted. Bailey Slack is going to be just out at first base, and that'll do it. A great defensive play by Bethke at third, and it's no runs on a hit, one left. Fifth inning coming up after.
A dreary morning turned sunny for two Liberty High School runners at the area track and field championships. Thursday morning, junior Patrick Flowers won the 3,200-meter race by 15 seconds. It was also a great day for the Lady Panther track and field team. Junior Morgan Vaughn qualified for regionals in the triple jump. In the 100-meter race, freshman Brianna Pantalion qualified for regionals. In the ladies 4x400-meter relay race, senior Emily Villarreal, junior Julianne Shivers, junior Cherish Robinson, and freshman Amaya Harrison qualified to move on to regionals. Senior Renee Romero topped the field in the 800-meter race. Junior Matthew Morin qualified for the regional championships. In the last race of the day, Patrick Flowers pulled away in the last straightaway to finish first in the 1,600-meter event. The regional championships take place on April 29th and 30th in Webster at Challenger Stadium. Ross Norwood, Panther Sports Network.
Welcome back, Panther Nation, and I hope you enjoyed that little news break from our very own play-by-play man, Ross Norwood. And you told me you sounded like you were in an echoey room, and I heard it that time. And whoever that audio engineer was did a terrible job. And, oh, wait, that was me. I'm sorry about that, Ross. All right, moving into the top of the fifth inning, your Liberty Lady Panthers up 5-0 over the Lady Horns of Hamshire Fanette.
Batting for Hamshire Fanette is Olivia Moore, the catcher. And she bounces this one in the box and rolls out towards the pitcher. And it's a foul ball. Evens the count at a ball and a strike. I'm seeing a lot of clouds, some not dark clouds, but they have a little color to them. And I'm hoping, for the sake of my forehead,
well, I think that ship sailed a long time ago.
Well, there's no sense in continuing the burn. And the clouds are getting very close to the sun. There's a breeze picking up here. And this one hit on the ground. Pantalion dives for it, but it gets by her and into center field. And it's a base hit for Olivia Moore, and that's the first base hit for Hamshire Fanette in the game.
That was a nice hit from the catcher, and between her and Sanders, both very dangerous hitters for Hamshire Fanette.
Yeah, they're in the 4 and 5 spots in the order. A bunt is put down. This is a beauty. Kylie Bishop comes in to field it. It is a high throw. It pulls Reese Evans, who was covering the bag at first, off, but she is able to come down with it. So Hamshire Fanette has runners at first and second, nobody out, an infield single on that. I mean, we've seen some good bunts today.
We really have, and that was just a really nice play from Reese to save that from going into the outfield, because had she not caught that, Moore probably would be able to score from second.
And with 2 runners on and nobody out, Head coach Karen Slack going out to chat with her pitcher and infield. Outfielders gathered on the Patriot logo in center field. Conference breaks up. Madison Bundick, the first baseman, will be the batter. She struck out in the third inning. A lot like Liberty, Hamshire Fanette does not have an easy lineup. A bunt attempt, it is foul and goes back to the backstop. I mean, they have a anybody in this lineup is capable of coming up with a big hit. And that's why it's so important for Liberty to try to add some more runs.
They do have some quality at bats. And again, we talked about this, something that they didn't have the last couple of years, and they've just really, give credit to their coaching staff, a great job coaching those young ladies up.
Another foul ball into the screen. No balls and 2 strikes, nobody out. 2. Olivia Moore began the inning for Hamshire with a single, and Jordan Comer laid down what could only be described as a beautiful bunt.
It hit and stuck. It was nice.
Another foul ball, losing her balance is Bundick. The runners at first and second have been running on the last 2 pitches.
Getting some extra audio from our fans in the stands, trying to get this team fired up.
That pitch misses, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Actually, excuse me, that is 1 ball and 2 strikes. This one is hit to Pantalian, who fields it, only has a play at first and gets it over to Reagan Williamson for the first out. Moore moves to third, Comer to second, and there's 1 away. A 6-3 putout, and Abigail Rutherford, the designated player, will be the batter and have a chance.
See, now's a situation where it'd be nice to get one of those free outs, like a squib pop up to the catcher or one of the corners. Well, you know what? The Falcons have not left, so there's a possibility that after we're done here, if we win, they might have to play each other for that second and third spot, which I did not realize.
That was my understanding of how it would work, but then I'd heard differently, so conflicting reports, but I would say they're starting to bring their gear over to the dugout, and this ball is hit hard into left field. Bailey Slack gets it. Tagging is Moore, and the throw came into second base to try to double off Comer, but she got back in safely, and a run, 5-1 on the sacrifice fly from Rutherford.
Well, that was a risky gamble that did not pay off. Luckily, the Lady Panthers with a cushion.
2 outs, Aubrey McDonald, the batter. Looks at strike 1 at the knees. 5-1 Liberty. 2 hits and a sacrifice fly for Hamshire in this inning. Swing and a miss at a breaking pitch, going to third on a stolen base is Comer. No balls, 2 strikes to McDonald. And she gets a piece of that one to stay alive in this at-bat.
That was a good job from Bourgeois, the freshman. I think that hit off her thigh. That probably didn't feel too good, and she came up ready for it.
Fouled over the screen and into the Hamshire stands.
Now I'm kind of interested to know if a worst-case scenario happened where the Lady Panthers weren't able to hold on, would they have to stay and play the Falcons again, or would that be it?
You know, that is a good question. Liberty now beating Huffman 3 times. That pitch is high. However,
probably they're only sticking around.
If they did have to stick around to play.
See, I don't even want to speculate now because I'll say something wrong.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner at third. Swing and a miss. And that'll do it for Hamshire Fanette, but they put a run on the board. Middle of the 5th inning, it's Liberty 5, Hamshire 1.
Welcome back, Panther Nation. You're watching the Lady Panther softball team on the Liberty Panther Sports Network. Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood on play-by-play. Producer Richard Ewing. Moving into the bottom of the 5th inning, your Liberty Lady Panthers leading the Hamshire Fanette Lady Horns 5-1. Hamshire Fanette able to manufacture a run in the top of the 5th, and that's how we stand. Now up to bat for the Lady Panthers, senior third baseman Kylie Bishop.
Kylie had a big bases clearing triple and picked up the 3 RBIs. My dramatic pauses, and they really, you know, they pick up.
You're the William Shatner.
Yeah, yeah. No, they really
softball.
pick up as the sun continues to bear down on me. That's why I had to go search for a Gatorade.
No, they really pick up as. See, if I were wearing a red Starfleet Academy top, I'd be concerned because I would think maybe my time's up here. We're going to start calling you Captain Kirk. At any rate, Kylie has been having a phenomenal day.
That one is hit hard to third, and a good play by Bethke, who throws on to first for the out.
Now, is it just me, or does this game feel like it's moving so much faster than that previous game? I know we had the break from yesterday, but it feels like it's moving along faster.
Yeah, the game time on that game is quite long. With the break in between. 1 out. That ball missing inside and low. Katie Sanders, the pitcher for Hamshire, has really settled down. This one is hit fair by Williamson, goes into left field. I could not tell from this vantage point whether that had stayed on this side of the bag, on the fair side of the third base bag, but it did.
Yeah, the plate umpire pretty adamant about that, running right down behind the ball and made the call pretty early, and that's just a great placement. Unless you're just riding the line, you're just not going to do anything to that as a third baseman.
A strike to Camden Chandler. Chandler has popped out to the third baseman, Bundick, and reached on an error. She reached on an error in the third and got as far as second base. She bunts this one straight back and over the left shoulder of the catcher, Moore. And it's no balls and 2 strikes, 1 out. In the bottom of the 5th inning, Liberty with a 5-1 lead. That's ball 1 to Chandler. The Hamshire fans have come out in force as well as the Liberty fans. Pretty easy drives for both teams, which is one of the reasons this is a location that was picked. Chandler sends this one up the middle. And she picks up a single.
Well, not only is the location good, but it's good for another reason, not just for the drive. It's an all-turf field, and so with the weather from yesterday and maybe even today, game planning for that makes it super easy. Now Camden going to be taking a courtesy runner here. And it looks like, is that Alexis West?
Tadlock.
Tadlock coming on, seeing her first action of this little mini tournament. Let's see if I can find her. There she is.
Hamshire just having to get on I-10, come down I-10. And Liberty only having to come down 146. And taking second base. Is the courtesy runner, Tadlock. One away in this bottom of the fifth inning. No, that was not second base. There's runners at first and second. Wiley pops this one high on the infield. The second baseman comes in, gets under it, and catches it. And that is the second out of the inning.
And the field umpire, or field umpire, no, who's that guy in blue standing over there, Ross?
He is the umpire in the field.
Okay, I said it right. My mind went blank there. He called the infield fly rule pretty
Correct.
early.
Runners at first and second with less than 2 outs. Runners can advance, but it is at their own risk.
Now we have Brooklyn Taylor up to bat now for the Lady Panthers.
She will be batting in place of Abby Vickers. Brooklyn got one at bat in the game against Huffman. Swings and catches a piece of that one. 2 outs, bottom of the fifth inning, 5-1.
It's so good that all of these youngsters are getting these at-bats and these looks in this playoff-style situation. Coach Karen Slack having to call on the youth late in the season.
That is going to catch the inside part of the strike zone. A good pitch by Sanders. Swing and a miss. And that will do it for the Lady Panthers in the bottom of the fifth inning. 2 left. We head to the sixth inning. It's 5-1, Liberty.
Good afternoon, Panther Nation, and welcome back. Thank you if you're joining us recently, or if you've been with us for all afternoon. You're watching the Liberty Panther Sports Network, and today's playoff seeding for the top 3 teams of District 21 4A. Lady Panthers defeating the Lady Falcons of Hargrave earlier in the afternoon, 2-1, to move into this game against Hamshire Fanette. And after 5, leading 5-1, moving into the top of the 6th inning. And the Hamshire Fanette Lady Horns are running out of some time if they want to make something of this contest, Ross.
Well, they're still in striking distance, only down 4 runs and 6 outs to work with.
So far, the Lady Panther defense playing very stellar and clean softball. Camden Chandler steady as usual in the circle for the Lady Panthers.
First pitch is sent up the middle.
And that's 2 innings in a row that we've seen that exact ball placement just out in that no man's land between short and second.
Hit that well. was right on the timing there. And Woodall is aboard for Katie Bethke, the third baseman. This ball is backhanded by Camden Chandler, who throws quickly to first for the out. Going to second is Woodall. The only play there for Chandler was at first.
Camden is so calm when that ball comes back to her. I think I'd be a pile of nerves, and it looks like she's just out for Sunday ice cream with her grandparents.
Oh, gosh, I thought that was thunder.
Don't even say that. Bite your tongue. Sitting in some metal stands and the youngsters in the crowd running across the stands, and it does sound like thunder.
Swing and a miss by Brianna Parent. She's flown out to beam and center, and she struck out and got to first on a wild pitch.
Well, Ross, I just did it. I think I transitioned to old man. I said youngsters unironically.
Parent now down in the count 0-2 with one out in the sixth inning.
It's a sobering day for me, Ross.
Everybody has that time. I would have thought yours had come a little
Oh,
earlier.
ouch. That hurts.
You're older than I am.
That hurts me.
Gets a piece of it.
Parent really has she has an interesting swinging style. It's almost like she's pushing out over her toes, a little off balance.
Swing and a miss on the 0-2 pitch. And she runs down to first base to run that out, which I think is a good thing to do.
It is definitely good practice.
Get you trained that, no matter what, run it out. And so that is the second out of the inning.
When I coached baseball eons ago, my kids would get so mad at me early on because I made them run everything out until they figured it out.
So Katie Sanders is back into the box. Fouls that one off. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
And Sanders, a dangerous hitter.
That gets ingrained in their head. So if they do have a pop-up and, it seems like, okay, this is going to be a sure out, they're standing on first base instead of walking back to the dugout. 1-1, 2 outs to Katie Sanders. That pitch misses high. Had a little movement on it, was going away from the right-handed batter. Hitters count, 2 balls and a strike. Traffic around the ballpark, thinning out, and she has to move out of the way of that one. Going to third is Woodall. And so now a runner at third. Little delayed steal there by Woodall. This one is sent high. Reagan Williamson going back, trying to make the catch. She does on the warning track around the dugout of Hamshire Fanette, and that'll do it. Hamshire leaves one after a single and a stolen base. Headed to the middle of the sixth inning, 5-1 Liberty. More after this.
Welcome back, Panther Nation. You are watching the Lady Panther softball team on the Liberty Panther Sports Network. You're listening to Joe Roberts. That's me. Play-by-play man Ross Norwood, that's him, and producer Richard Ewing, and that's him far away from me.
Holding the umbrella.
Holding the umbrella.
Trying to create enough shade so he can see his screen.
Bottom of the 6th inning, and your Liberty Lady Panthers leading 5-1. And the freshman speedster, Breezy Pantalian, up to bat for the Lady Panthers.
Richard Ewing, the maestro that gets us and keeps us on air as that ball is low to Pantalian. Pantalian singled, came around to score after she stole 2 bases. And she's hit one back to the pitcher. This being her 3rd at bat. I guess if I said there were 2 at bats, this would be the 3rd. It could be the 3rd at bat. Had she worked in a walk there, it would have been the 3rd at bat. She sends this one high into left field. It brings the left fielder in and secures the catch. That is McDonald. And Hamshire gets the first out of the inning. And it's back to the top of the order, Macy Beam. Beam reached on an error to lead this game off, got as far as 3rd base. Actually, no, that's poor book work by me.
I didn't want to say anything, but since you did.
She scored in that 4-run first inning. Liberty added 1 in the 2nd and would like to add another here in the 6th to give them some breathing room going into the 7th against a very talented Hampshire Fanette team. Bounced back to the pitcher. Beam is retired when Sanders throws on to first. And there are 2 away in the bottom of the 6th inning. Reese Evans, the batter. She's been on base all 3 times, reached on an error, stole a base and scored a run in the 1st. Picked up an RBI single in the 2nd and singled in the 4th. Looks at strike 1. Hits this one softly in the air, and the 3rd baseman, Bethke, catches it. And that'll do it for the Panthers in the 6th, a 1-2-3 inning. On to the 7th inning. Hampshire Fanette 1, Liberty 5.
Welcome back, Panther Nation. You are watching Liberty Lady Panther softball on the Liberty Panther Sports Network. In the top of the 7th inning, your Liberty Lady Panthers leading 5-1 over the Hampshire Fanette Lady Horns. And the Lady Panthers presumably 3 outs away from taking care of this. And there is going to be a pitching change. Camden Chandler making way for freshman Brooklyn Taylor in the circle. And we'll get to see her first playoff atmosphere pitching. Not quite the playoffs.
Not quite the playoffs.
But the atmosphere is similar.
If you're keeping up with stats, these stats will go on to the regular district season or the regular season as a whole. And those stats will reset as the playoffs begin, either Wednesday, Thursday, somewhere around there. Not sure. A lot of it is going to have to wait and see how everything shakes out.
Now, the good thing for Brooklyn is she has been getting some innings along the way. And besides the first batter for Hampshire Fanette, Moore, the heart of the Lady Horn order has been done, so she's getting the back end of the lineup. But as we've mentioned before, still a pretty talented lineup 1 through 9. just by way of information, we will be following the Lady Panthers throughout whatever playoff run that they might be making. And kind of some conflicting reports, not sure what this little mini seeding tournament's going to do, but the playoffs may start as soon as tomorrow, and they might start on Thursday, depending on what arrangement Coach Slack can make with the coaches. And again, this game is not over, but 3 outs away from the Lady Panthers taking the #1 spot in 21-4A as Tri-District champion and the #1 seed.
So there is a conference between head coach Karen Slack going out, one of the Hamshire Fanette coaches asking the umpire. There have been some lineup changes. We'll go over those shortly when I can get the zipper on my broadcast bag open.
Well, the ability to have a flex player and a designated player allows for coaches to do some really interesting things with the lineup, and probably none better than Coach Karen Slack at making the most out of her lineup and getting the right people in the right spot, whether it be defensively or offensively.
Joe, you mentioned Brooklyn Taylor coming into the game to pitch, and coming in to play in right field is Alex Wiley.
And that looks like that's the only change.
It's the only one that I could see.
Okay. This would be a big confidence boost for the freshman if she can get out of this inning, and that's a nice way to start it, firing in a strike.
It's Moore, Comer, and Bundick that are due up for Hamshire Fanette, and this one bounces behind Moore. And there is a strike at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hamshire Fanette needs 4 runs to extend it, 5 to take the lead. Swing and a miss on the drop ball. Bourgeois throws down to Williamson for the first out of the inning, and Moore is retired.
Well, that was fairly uncharacteristic of Moore, who's been pretty solid at the plate and behind the plate, swinging at that pitch. Really nice selection from Brooklyn Taylor, getting the strikeout, and that's a great heads-up play by Bourgeois on the drop ball to get it down to Williamson for the out.
Jordan Comer, the batter, the shortstop, has popped out to Evans at second and singled and gotten as far as third. And the umpire in the field walking to the circle to relay some information to Brooklyn.
I think she was asking about some of that piece in front of the rubber there.
And that is a strike as Richard Ewing put his sun cover shield thingy around my head about the time that pitch got to the plate. Bourgeois has to go down and play that one off her chest protector. And it's a ball and 2 strikes.
It's really nice to see the confidence level of the freshman Taylor just kind of going through the roof right now.
Sent in the air, Pantalian comes over towards second base and catches it for the second out of the inning.
And if you're really watching, Ross, what you're seeing right now between Pantalian and Evans is this this dynamic that's developed over the last couple of weeks. When they first started working together, they were very unsure. We saw some bobbles, we saw some miscommunication, and now they are starting. They're not a well-oiled unit yet, but they're starting to look like a well-oiled unit.
Catches a piece of that one, and it's no balls and a strike.
Again, the Lady Panthers 1 out away from concluding their portion of this seeding tournament.
Another ball in the dirt, and another block by Bourgeois.
If the Lady Panthers are able to get this out, they will be the #1 seed coming out of District 21 4A.
And will play Viter. Sliced foul. One ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on for Hamshire
So
Fanette.
you did confirm Viter was
Yes.
the 4th place team. Okay.
Game will be played somewhere in the Beaumont area. As that pitch misses high. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Bundick. Swing and a miss, drop ball, tagged out by Bourgeois, and that'll do it. Liberty picks up the first seed in district for the playoffs.
That's right.
2 wins today. They defeated Huffman 2-1 and defeat Hamshire Fanette 5-1. They will be done for the day. It'll be Huffman and Hamshire Fanette playing in the next one. We'll be with you at the next game, which will be Wednesday or Thursday.
Wednesday or Thursday, the playoffs start. You've been watching Lady Panther softball on the Liberty Panther Sports Network. I'm Joe Roberts. You've been listening to Ross Norwood on play-by-play and watching the video stylings of producer Richard Ewing. Thanks as always. And as soon as the playoff details come out, we will let you know, and we will see you shortly.
I want to say one last thing, and I know y'all are ready to pack it up. We've had a long day, but I want to say that this Hamshire Fanette team fell down 4-0, and they could have fallen apart, but they did not. They played a very good game, and without that, the first inning, and that's a credit to these young ladies and coaches at Hamshire Fanette.
All right, till next time, Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood, producer Richard Ewing.